Hey everybody, it's me, Justin McDonald. Thank you very much for tuning in, all that are here today. I'll give it another 10 seconds, 30 seconds to see who might show up for this live session. Again, I'm Justin McDonald, and you can find me on some of the socials at results required. One word. At results required. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And of course, you can send me emails. If you just send me a blank email, it just says, "Hey, what's up?" at Justin McDonald, JUSTIN McDonald, USA@gmail.com. I'll do the best I can to get back to you right away, and I'll put you on my list. In my list, really, I'm just sharing an article that I'm writing every day, and usually the article is something to do with like entrepreneurship or business or like a tip or something, or maybe it could be something in the news, might be something personal, but it's just kind of like a platform I like to use to communicate. Email, good stuff. All right, so let's get down to business. Again, we have another quote from Mr. Dan Kennedy. And Mr. Dan Kennedy has so many great insights and quotes, of course, that I've been inspired to buy more of his books. And I urge anybody here who has um, heard of Dan Kennedy or knows who he is to definitely invest in his books and his school of knowledge. He's got some good stuff. I don't get any um, kickbacks or incentives for right now, as far as spreading the gospel of Dan Kennedy. However, he does have a newsletter, um, and one of his other programs, he's teamed up with Russell Brunson, who's acquired the magnetic marketing system. So if you are familiar with Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson, actually hit me up because I have a few things that could help you too, with their programs, and I probably have a couple links too if you want like any of their books at a discount. But anyways, let's get this party started. And if you haven't heard of Dan Kennedy, by the way, please look him up. And when you discover how much of a marketing genius this guy is, you're welcome, by the way. And hey, remember who turned you on to Dan Kennedy? Justin McDonald did through one of his Facebook Live things or whatever, right? So, a competitive advantage of a low price cannot be maintained forever. It is an unsustainable advantage. Keep that in mind whenever you head in this direction. A competitive advantage of a low price cannot be maintained forever. It is an unsustainable advantage. Keep that in mind whenever you head in this direction. So, you got to be able to differentiate yourself in the business landscape you are from just price alone, because you're not going to be able to survive very long on price alone. You see this in every type of business too, where it's like almost like a last ditch effort to get people in the door. And there are competitive advantages of having like maybe one low price item like advertised to get people in the door. But if like all your prices, or if you just sell one flagship product and that price is at a low price, it's not a sustainable advantage. So, segueing from that a little bit, I would emphasize on USP, your unique selling proposition. What makes you unique other than price? like to me, I think for any business to survive, you need to survive, not only survive, like you could survive maybe for a little while, maybe even for a few years, just being like having the lowest price. But like whatever, um, you want price. At least I do. You want price to be number 5 or lower. What do I mean by that? Well, when a customer wants to buy, right? You want price to be like the 5th thing that makes them decide whether or not they want to purchase your product, not the first thing. That's why this is not a good idea. So, like for instance, I'm just making stuff up. Maybe you want number 4 to be color, right? The color of the product or item. Or I'll put color / appearance, right? Maybe maybe there's a bunch of books by the same title, and then ooh, I want that one because it has a cooler cover on it or something, or a better color. Or maybe you're choosing between different vehicles or something. You're like, I want that one because it's got a different color. Number 3, I'm just gonna say customer service, right? Right, like the friendliness and the customer service and like the way they were able to like um answer all your questions, and they weren't just trying to like just sell you something, you know what I mean? They were like, I mean, yeah, they were trying to sell you something, but they weren't like being like a sleazy salesperson about it. They were actually like going through all the details. They might have even given the client or customer um like, hey, you might want this instead of that, and like considering their budget and all these other things that they have in mind. So like customer service could be number 3. I mean, obviously these could be different in different order. Location, right? Um, I was color appearance. I was gonna say the deliverable itself. The deliverable, I mean like, um, you know, how about I'll say like incentive or something, or extra. So I know it's kind of hard to read because I have all this other stuff here, but like when somebody wants to buy something, and let's say you're selling the same thing as everybody else, maybe one of the things that differentiates you from everybody else is that yours comes with some kind of an extra or incentive, like a free gift, or if you buy this car, you get free gas for a year, stuff like that. Um, Maybe like special VIP memberships or something like that, or if you buy something today, you get like a gift card or gift certificate towards your next purchase. Um, Free beverage with a slice of pizza or something, right? Secondly, would be location. How far does this customer, how far does the prospect have to go to get to you? That could be online too. Do they have to jump through a bunch of hoops? Are you just like right there? Um, and same thing, like if you're going out to eat somewhere, right? Like location, like, there could be a bunch of taco places or pizza places or ice cream shops and coffee shops, and that customer might decide where they want to go just based on location, right? Because like how much time they have and stuff like that, and like just like the energy they're willing to put in to get what they want. And then of course customer service, that's kind of self-explanatory, except like we could go and talk about customer service for hours and hours, because it's one of those things in business that um, a lot of people have that as their title, right? And like obviously they suck at it, but like um, the problem with customer service too, just like while we're there, it's not that like the people that are in customer service suck necessarily. Maybe some of them do, but no, like they're getting a lot of people are getting paid like minimum wage, low wage at stores that are basically. Hey, excuse me there. Um, I'm actually a volunteer firefighter, and I got like a ring that went through this phone. Um, it's hard to keep everything separate, and it's okay. Um, anyways, no emergency there. Anyways, we're at customer service, right? And yeah, people that work in customer service. One second, let me just make sure we're still going live here. Oh yeah, we're totally going live. It's weird if I get like a message like that, especially from the fire department. They'll like end the live, and then I have to go back in and resume. So, whatever. Again, customer service could be like the third thing that makes. I mean, I might say the first thing, but customer service could be also like the salesperson or clerk, right? The person that's at the register. The people that are in whatever store that are kind of guiding the customer to the product, trying to be enthusiastic and informative to complete the sale. I guess you can say. I'm not like, here's the definition of customer service. But anyways, the problem with this too, while we're on that topic, I just want to point out I think a lot of times it does not less to do with the human being because we're all humans. I think that the businesses that are in this realm of having a competitive advantage of a low price, we know some big box stores, right? We don't need to name names. And also hardware stores, we don't need to name names. But old timers will say all the time, right? They try to go in looking for a specific screw and there's nobody around to help them out. Customer service is huge. And again, there's just not enough emphasis put on customer service, but it's like they're not being compensated enough too. What's weird, if we look at for a second a pyramid of like who's getting paid the most and the least, customers. I'm putting CEO on top and customer service on the bottom. But really, we know, and I'm sure people will agree, that customer service folks, at least in my humble opinion, customer service folks should be at the top of the pyramid, right? And CEO on the bottom. Wait, that doesn't make much sense. All I did was flip around the triangle. Which is what I wanted to do, but it's okay. I'm just gonna go back to the upside down triangle. So yeah, let's just switch that. CEO on the bottom and customer service. Doesn't it make sense too? A little bit, like you have like that bigger part of that pyramid or whatever where it's not just one person, it's a bunch of people that are in customer service that are getting paid the most of the share of the profits of a business, and the CEO is getting less of a share at least of all the customer service combined. Let's just say that. Just to have a fair trifecta there or whatever, because really customer service, at least in like other places too, they should be making a better wage, because they are and receptionists too, like they are kind of like the face of the company, aren't they? They're like the first people that you see that are greeting you and all that stuff. So, again, having that incentive and extra, is there something that's free or something that comes with the item if you buy today? How far it is, the location, like the access that a customer has, the customer service, and then like the color, the appearance, the deliverable, right? Like all that stuff. Like maybe even the way it's packaged. You know what I mean? Are they putting it in some sloppy plastic bag or they got a nice tote? Um, and maybe also like the color, the appearance of the store, of the or the e-store, right, or the website. Is it neat? Is it easy to buy, or is there a lot of distractions, and is it complicated? Is the ordering process complicated? And then we get to number 5, which is price, right? See how many things we had to go through before we even got to price, right? I know my stupid little pyramid thing didn't really make sense, and I kind of got that backwards. I'm obviously improvising here, but I'm not saying CEOs of companies don't deserve to make a lot of money, but I'm just trying to set an example here on paying attention to the people that are in customer service too, like in your business, because you need to treat them well, reward them, give them incentives, give them breaks, reward them for their good behavior, especially if like you're hearing a lot of good things about your customer service department. They're treating your customers well. You know what I mean, you got customer feedback that like such and such took my order the other day and they were so great, and like reward them. Don't just be like, oh, that's nice, right? Like, yeah, they're representing your business, but like you want to reward them and do it like in a way too that makes them feel special too. Don't just be so like broad about it. Like take them into your office and give them like a special gift or something like that. You know what I mean? Like give them like a gift card, or you know, something like candy or baked good, or maybe a bonus or something like that, or even just like words of endearment, encouragement, and stuff like, hey, you really rock and rolled the other day. Like I've been hearing a lot of good things. Like thank you so much. Like anything. Just make sure that the customer service department that works for you is being acknowledged for pulling that off, because it's not so easy for people to do that job and to face just random people that could just show up anytime and have any random question about the business, and they're there to like be knowledgeable and answer the questions and be nice and put up a smile even if they're having a bad day. So I think that customer service needs to be strengthened, but it also needs to be strengthened by the employers and the managers and the CEOs, and everybody need to pay attention to that force and nurture it just as much as they want to nurture the customer. They're going to be better off nurturing their customer service department, so that way that vibration will continue, you know, as your business operates. And then, you know what I mean, you can save all the nurturing of your customer by having your customer service department will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, you know, if you treat them well. You know, you don't have to go out there and beat your chest about anything and brag, or do a bunch of like advertising and that just exaggerates you and stuff like that. If you pick the right people for the job in your sales force, in your customer service department, and you treat them very well, again, like they're going to do their very best to put your best foot forward for your company. It's worth every penny to make sure that if you need to pay them a salary job, I'm not kidding, you might as well. Because these people are going to fight for you. These people are going out to battle for you. And it is like battle. It is like a battle. It is like going to war. If you're selling the same thing that somebody else is selling, you're basically at a price war. You're basically at a war. And just to kind of like maybe close this out a little bit too, I can't talk about Dan Kennedy and his um, uh, point about the competitive advantage of a low price not being able to be maintained forever, and it's an unsustainable advantage. Um, it's funny because I had this on my office door and I just ripped it off because I wanted to read it. It's good stuff because it kind of ties into this. He says 2 things you should never do. Never is a very strong word, right? So be careful when you use that word. Never and just and always, right? Or every time. Never is a very strong word. It's rarely advisable to use it. But in these 2 instances, I feel so strongly about this advice, I'll risk the permanent no exceptions ban. 1. If you have a prestige offering, do not give it away for free. There is nothing prestigious about free. There is no faster way to dilute your ability to charge a high price than by giving it away free. Also, be careful about offering it at discounts. Even that can destroy its price integrity. Protect prestige. If you find you need extra juice to sell that product, add value to it with stronger or more dramatic warranties, bonuses, and premiums. A special event for all who buy it during the promotional period, financing, but don't sacrifice its price outright. I like the financing one too because you could basically sell things at a lower price and offer the financing, but you want to be careful too. They do that with a lot of higher ticket products. Um, but what were we talking about before too? Like the five things or 4 things you want to have before price and like incentives. That's a really good one too. Like what Dan Kenny was saying too about protecting your prestige and your integrity and adding extra juice is what he said to sell the product or value. Stronger dramatic warranties are good too. Bonuses, right? And we were basically, that's what we were saying. Premiums, a special event for all who buy during a period. Also, going back to this too, like I was thinking too, aren't there other unsustainable advantages when it comes to selling and business? Can you think of some? If so, put them in the comments or send them to me via email. Because I was thinking of a few a little while ago too, like seasonal sales, like or seasonal like selling events aren't sustainable either, right? Because like time is like the factor. So like think of like back to school savings or think about Black Friday. Like those 2 events aren't sustainable, are they? It's like they're only good for that very short period of time. Um, and some places too, like restaurants and department stores, will kind of like always advertise this low price all the time. And it's not, you know what I mean? After a while, people just get used to that being the price. And it's not necessarily the low price anymore because people, like, that's like what's now engraved in people's minds. So now when the price goes back up to where it normally is, they're going to get all upset about it, basically. And that kind of segues to this other thing that Dan Kennedy says I put down on the same paper. And it was, if you must discount, must put items on sale, or must promote free offers, don't be predictable. Don't be predictable about it. Interesting. This is the only way to negate training people to expect something. This is the only way to negate training people to expect something. If you do the same thing at the same time every time you train them. Interesting, right? If you do the same thing at the same time every time you train them. We talked about Black Friday sales. We talked about back to school savings. The department stores that offer that kind of stuff. You can kind of say, yeah, looking at that the customer is basically trained. Right? Think about what happens on Black Friday at all the stores that they've already done that to in the past. Interesting perspective. Once you train them to expect something, you have to deliver it or you sow the seeds of disconnect. Wow. So if they come to realize you advertise at full price for 3 weeks, then discount the 4th, they'll wait. If you stop the discounting, they won't buy at all. This is so true. Have you ever had that happen to you? I'll read it again. If they come to realize you advertise at full price for 3 weeks, right? And then on the 4th you discount, they'll wait. If you stop the discounting, they won't buy at all. If you run a half price sale every July, customers will sit on their hands in May and June. That's so true, right? Oh wow. So yeah, like those half price sales, think about it. Those are huge. Customers will sit on their hands in May and June. Yeah, people will wait 2 months to get what they need, knowing that they're going to get it at half price, right? If you frequently discount, they'll lose all faith in real prices and buy only when you run sales. Then build up immunity to that, forcing you to conceive bigger sales with bigger discounts and more free gifts. Oh, that's so brilliant. So yeah, you really do want to pay attention to your USP. I'll write it down again. USP. Your unique selling proposition. You should know what that is by now. And it's what makes you unique. It's the things or the thing, I guess you can say, that make people want to buy that's not based just on price. Because as we know, you can't survive just on low prices. So that's all I have for you today. You be well. Have a great day. Thank you for listening or watching or both. Peace.